I really loved when Pierce Brosnan was James Bond. He's one of my favorite actors, so.
Would you ever like to be a Bond girl?
Maybe. I don't know. It seems like a lot of hard work. I'd have to go figure out how to be a little bit more badass. Better Bond character. I don't know. Maybe them both together. Mystery of Romney and Obama's charming personality.
Great.
I'm not sure yet. I work well under pressure, so we'll see.
Well, okay, the first Bond film I ever saw, I was probably like 9 years old. It was The Spy Who Loved Me, or A Spy Who Loved Me, right? It was Roger Moore's like third or fourth or fifth. I can't remember. It was his best one, where it opens up and he's skiing like the Austrian Alps or whatever it is, and it has Jaws, you know, the whole deal. It's like one of the best Bond films ever. What do you mean? What do I think of the Bond girls? I mean, every time. I guess that's that's what everyone wants to see, right? I don't know where they pull them from. You know, I don't know where they pull these voluptuous just bombshells from. I'll order a Vesper Martini every now and again. You know what I mean? I don't act like James Bond, but yeah, no. And occasionally when I'm hanging out on Hoover Dam, I'll just kind of rappel down and have my silencer with me. You know, so I'll just, you know, inverted, just cap a couple people and just rappel back up. It's my normal Friday routine. Who would make a better Bond? Obama. Come on, man. You know, he's pretty smooth, you gotta admit. No, I have some friends, these girls, they want they want to dress up as the Mighty Ducks, and they want me to be Coach Gordon Bombay, and I thought that was a pretty good idea, so.
The first one I ever saw, Dr. No, as a kid, because, you know, it was like, holy cow, am I allowed to see this? I think I'd be a better Armand Flint, Sean Connery, but I enjoyed the new Bond. I don't know the other ones as well, Sean Connery, but I enjoyed the new Bond. I don't know the other ones as well.
You know, when Daniel Craig walked out of that water, it occurred to me I really needed to stop doing Pilates and start lifting weights. That was a big change in manhood for me that day. It really helped tap my insecurities and inadequacies. I had no idea I'd be asked that question tonight. No, Sean Connery. I mean, the guy wears the hell out of a suit for starters. And I mean, have you heard him sing? He's clearly got moves.
Gosh, I had a lot of fun driving the semi-truck in License to Kill. And even though I wasn't really driving it, I shouldn't probably be even revealing that. I had a lot of fun with Wayne Newton. I had a lot of scenes with him, and he's a funny guy. And I always loved Sean Connery in Dr. No. He was just the epitome of suave, sexy, cool, secret agent. I love Daniel Craig. I think he's a great Bond. He combines the danger and the sex, and I'm really looking forward to it. Skyfall, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, very much.
And
Obama.
why?
Because he's cool. He's good under pressure. He's sexy.
And lastly, Halloween is right around.
And he's a Democrat. Bond girl.
My favorite Bond moment in memory, I guess, is the day I got the phone call to be a part of the franchise. That was pretty personal for me. The Bond films, you know, obviously have all of the, you know, the big budget allure and have all the glamour, but they never pander to the audience. They're always told from a perspective of intelligence, and there's always an attempt to be innovative and fresh with the storytelling. So I think that's what keeps bringing people back. James Bond's a pretty cool cat. Mitt Romney as Bond? There's no question about that. Obama would make a fine Bond. Romney might make an interesting Q, but I don't know if he's that creative. But no, he's no match for President Obama, either as president or as Bond. This is the first year that this has happened. I'm going to be away from home, working during Halloween, so I won't have a chance to get dressed up and tour the neighborhood with my kids. So I'll have to celebrate Halloween by proxy, you know, in absentia from my kids.
my first college party back in 2007, my first college party was James Bond themed. So I thought I was so cool. I had my hot little James Bond outfit and I had like thigh-high boots and I was like, you know, we did the martinis and it was really cool. It was my first like college experience.
The current Bond.
I like the Daniel Craig current Bond. I'll take that one any day. I'm gonna go with Obama because we've never had an ethnic James Bond, but I'm not gonna pick sides. Not yet. I'd like to come back to New York. I live in LA, so I'd like to come back to New York because my boyfriend's on a show and it's really spooky, so hopefully they'll have a big Halloween party. I'm not really sure, but I haven't really found out my costume yet. I like to do it on a whim, but I'm looking forward to it. It's one of my favorite holidays.
I can't remember the specific moment, but I just remember, you know, watching those early films of Sean Connery and just remembering that that was the kind of man that I would love to have ended up with. Oh yeah, very much looking forward to it. I think Daniel is, you know, the perfect kind of, the quintessential Bond. He's got that look, he says a lot without saying much, and he's, you know, easy on the eyes, and he's physical, and he looks good without his shirt on.
Thank you.
I'd have to say Halle Berry and Die Another Day. Pretty badass. She is beautiful, and to just see her as a strong black woman embodying that role was pretty historical.
And
you know what? I'm a one-piece type of girl, and historically that has not been the Bond girl uniform, so I don't know if I could handle all of that. Obama, hands down, would make the better Bond.
I think it's every woman's inspiration to be them. They're just filled with adventure and sex and sultry and everything in one pretty little package. Well, I'm expecting a lot of sexiness and adventure and scandal. I think Obama would make a better Bond.
And why is that?
I don't know, there's something about him, his presence, that would be a little bit more risky or, you know, pushing the envelope a little bit maybe. I was actually thinking about this today. I don't know what I'm going to be yet. I was thinking of Uma Thurman, Pulp Fiction, or I don't know. We'll have to see.
Ursula Andress and Dr. No is my favorite Bond moment. I think it's gonna, Daniel Craig he's a good Bond, so I'd like to see him kick some ass. Oh, Romney, bad guy, the villain. He'd be a perfect villain. I'm gonna be shooting, sadly, but maybe I'll dress up on the set as a director.
Celebrating tonight 50 anniversaries of, you know, a Bond, and that's quite an accomplishment for any film to have that kind of longevity. Well, I would say George Clooney or Mickey Rourke would play two good Bond villains. So I would, you know, since I was a villain, I'd be casting that, I would say. But to play Bond, we'll see who plays Bond. I mean, I think Daniel Craig has got it wrapped up for a while, and he's marvelous.
It's hard to say. I mean, Roger Moore is probably my favorite Bond, just because, like, as a kid growing up, that was Daniel Craig is probably the best one, but I think Roger Moore is my favorite one. No, it was always an unrealistic expectation. He was well dressed, chicks liked him, and he drove a good car. That was always one that I realized I had no shot at. So no, I never wanted to be him, but it was kind of fun to watch what a man could be if he wants to. Obama probably would be a better Bond character because Romney is too stiff and nerdy. Obama comes off as much more slick and much more of a cool guy in the room. Romney is just too stiff. Romney would be a great boss telling Bond where to go, but I think Obama much better Bond. No, I'm not, but it's nice. It's the one day a year I can actually walk in public with a transsexual and nobody looks. It's like, hey, it's my friend, we're going to a party.
Anything with Sean Connery in it. There's a great part where there's some water skis. He comes up out of the water. I mean, those are my favorite movies. I'm biased. I usually pull off a pretty mean Wolverine, but I might have to think about doing a James Bond this year.
Well, I'm very fond of Skyfall because I've been living within it for 2 years. But when I think back, my first Bond was Diamonds Are Forever. And there's a fight in Diamonds Are Forever with Bond and Bambi and Thumper in this modernist house in Las Vegas. I think that's my favorite sentimental Bond moment, quite honestly. I think you can expect a continuation of what he's brought to the part, which is a rediscovery of the seriousness of Ian Fleming's character. And we go into his roots, we go into his angst, we go into the seriousness of what it is to be James Bond with, I hope, a little bit of the suave we all love. Well, I'm always looking for a good supervillain as a writer, so I say Romney.
Why would he be a good villain?
Well, you know, he has sort of that soulless demeanor that I think is good for a supervillain.
For me, growing up, I remember the first time I went to Goldfinger. It was just one of those iconic movies that, you know, for an entire lifetime, I've grown up watching Bond movies my entire life. We have had almost every Bond movie on the channel. We're excited about the upcoming release of Skyfall. So for us to do Everything or Nothing, the untold story of 007, it's just a continuation of this being a great home for the Bond franchise.
I'm hoping to be entertained and thrilled as always in Skyfall, and I think Daniel Craig is an extraordinary actor, and he's allowed Bond to have an emotional side that we haven't seen before that's really come out in his acting skills, and I think that's a very exciting development for James Bond.
Hey, to the right, please. Hey, right here. Beautiful. Hey, can you move down? Looking up, James. Hard left, hard left.
Do you have a tip sheet? Yes, look at the tip sheet.
Oh, that's sexy. Beautiful. Together. Wow. Here we go. Come ahead, please. Look at you. And one last one.